Lil Cap his ass on the left bed right now, man. He about to die, man. I need everybody to pray and bow y'all heads down that this little boy don't make it out of it. Go Lil Cap, he got in a high-speed crash on life support. Let's go! Hold on, my favorite. I'm about to die. Pull the plug.
Lil Jeff turned on Lil Cap after blaming him for setting up his cousin, laughing when Cap ended up on life support. Moneybag Yo signed Big 30, then dissed him for trying to snake him and falling off. K-Flock and D-Thang went from family to deadly ops after J-Rip-K got gunned down. Lil Jeff and his favorite op, Lil Cap. When it came to Bloodhound Lil Jeff, there was one op who lived in his head rent-free. Trap City's own Lil Cap. Out of all the enemies Lil Jeff had, nobody got dissed more in lives, songs, and the streets than Lil Cap. Their story wasn't just about typical op beef. It was personal. It was betrayal. Before all the blood was spilled, Lil Jeff and Lil Cap were actually close. On Live, Jeff said straight up that Lil Cap used to be his best friend. They spun together. They hung out. They knew each other's families. Lil Jeff even said, "Lil Cap, that was my best friend. We was cold. That my brother. We was out here." He know personally how that belt get. This wasn't just internet talk. Jeff really trusted Cap back in the day. But like in most Chicago street stories, trust don't last long when money, envy, and bodies get involved. The real turning point came when Z-Money, Lil Jeff's blood cousin and beloved Bloodhound member, got gunned down, and the streets pointed the finger at none other than Lil Cap. Fans first noticed it when Lil Jeff and Q50 went live in 2024. During the live, someone asked them about Z-Money's killer. Jeff said the only reason Z-Money's killer was still breathing was because he was locked up. At that time, the main Trap City member sitting behind bars was Lil Cap. Fans immediately put it together. Lil Cap was the snake. Lil Cap wasn't silent either. After funeral, Lil Cap posted a picture from the service, a Trap City Lel service, with a caption saying, "This one for my fallen soldiers. Take souls for my brother Nim." He even threw a Z emoji at the end, the same emoji Bloodhounds used to honor Z-Money. After all that disrespect, Bloodhound wasn't letting it slide. Lil Jeff and Q50 started making moves to get back. The first major blow came when Lil Jeff allegedly caught Trap City's Lil Leal lacking while getting into an Uber. Jeff's songs would reference Leo's death constantly. It was a trophy hit. But even with Leo dead, the mission wasn't finished. Lil Cap was still breathing. Lil Jeff went live celebrating. He clowned Lil Cap for being on his deathbed after a high-speed crash. On Live, Jeff said, "Pray that lil boy don't make it out. His ass need to drop dead right now." The energy was pure hatred. Jeff wasn't holding anything back. But Lil Cap survived. His mugshot surfaced later, showing him in a neck brace, looking off to the side. Lil Jeff wasn't done. Jeff took it to the booth too. In his songs, he rapped about seeing Lil Cap in traffic and how Cap didn't even up his blick. He rapped that even though Cap wasn't dead, he was basically finished. Lyrics about Cap being crippled, frozen up, and scared popped up in multiple tracks. Meanwhile, Bloodhound was blowing up. After Z-Money's death, it was like the Bloodhounds activated a whole new energy. Q50 started trending, Vert started getting buzz, T-Slick was moving heavy, and Lil Jeff himself was becoming a Chicago street legend. While Bloodhounds were turning up, Lil Cap was fighting for his life, healing up from the crash, then sitting behind bars. It created a perfect storm of momentum for Bloodhound, and endless jokes and disses aimed at Cap. When Lil Cap finally got out of jail in December 2024, he tried to pop back on Instagram, flexing like he was still that guy. He posted, "I just got off lockdown 23-1, but can't no bars or no walls stop me from popping my sh*t." He tried to claim Trap City started the Bloodhound wave, saying, "We created these creative players y'all looking up to," but by then, it was too late. Bloodhound had already surpassed Trap City. Q50 had just signed a major record deal and was becoming the biggest artist out of Chicago at the moment. Lil Cap's bitterness showed in every post, while Bloodhound was focused on bagging millions. Lil Cap was no longer viewed as a threat in the streets. He was a fallen op, mocked every time Jeff touched a mic. The craziest part about their story is how it started. Two close friends, spinning blocks together, dreaming about getting rich. In another life, maybe Jeff and Cap would have been a deadly duo running the city. But in the trenches, trust turns to hate fast. One backdoor, one betrayal, and now Cap was Jeff's most hated op. Jeff's obsession with Lil Cap showed how personal drill beefs really get. He didn't just want Cap gone, he wanted to humiliate him, outlast him, and laugh at his downfall. And he did. From celebrating him being on life support, to dissing him for freezing in traffic, to calling him crippled on tracks. Lil Jeff made it clear, Lil Cap was his #1 target, and the fans knew it too. In every Bloodhound live, comments flooded about Lil Cap. Every time Jeff posted music, fans were waiting for the next Lil Cap diss. Even Q50 and Vert would randomly sneak shots at Cap, keeping the pressure constant. The feud even spilled into the Bloodhound come-up story. Trap City members like Trap Boogie and Lil Rob would sneak diss Q50 and Vert too, mocking their early music careers. But every time they threw shots, Jeff would fire back harder. When Trap Boogie trolled Vert for not hitting 100K views, Jeff didn't even respond about the numbers. He went right back to clowning Lil Cap, keeping the focus exactly where he wanted it. Even now, after Jeff's passing, the Lil Cap beef stands as one of the most intense parts of his story. It wasn't random op hunting. It was deeper. It was betrayal, revenge, and pride all mixed together. From best friends to sworn enemies, Lil Jeff versus Lil Cap shows exactly why drill beefs almost never end peacefully. When you really knew somebody, when you trusted them, and they turned snake. That's a whole different type of hate. Until his last days, Lil Jeff made it his mission to drag Lil Cap's name through the dirt. And even after all the music, all the lives, all the trolling, it's clear. Lil Cap was, without a doubt, Lil Jeff's favorite op. Moneybag Yo and his favorite op, Big 30. Moneybag Yo and Big 30 came up repping the same city, the same movement, and at one point, the same label. But now they locked in one of the coldest fallouts Memphis has seen in years, with Big 30 turning into one of Moneybag's favorite ops. When Big 30 first linked up with Bread Gang, it looked like a win for everybody. Moneybag Yo was already making moves at the top, and Big 30 had the streets of South Memphis buzzing with his Chopper Gang ties. Moneybag put Big 30 in position to win, showing him how to turn street cred into chart numbers. But by 2024, the situation was falling apart. In May 2024, a leaked diss track from Moneybag Yo changed everything. On the track, Moneybag called Big 30 out for falling off, gambling problems, and allegedly moving foul behind the scenes. "I want everybody to win," Moneybag rapped. "If I sign you, I'm letting you win. What I'm holding you back for?" Moneybag accused Big 30 of plotting moves behind his back, capping to try to wiggle out his deal, and blaming everyone but himself for fumbling the bag. He even touched on deeper wounds, mentioning Nusky, Big 30's cousin, and Moneybag's artist who had been tragically killed. Moneybag made it clear he took that loss personally and still carried the weight. Big 30 wasn't about to let the shots fly without clapping back. He jumped online and claimed the first part of the diss wasn't even aimed at him. He said it was about another artist, Tripstar. But then Big 30 let it be known there was real tension. He said he paid Moneybag nearly $1 million to get out of his contract and still walked off with $2 million in his pockets. Then he really turned up, accusing Moneybag of signing artists for protection because he was getting extorted in the city. Big 30 also called out Moneybag for mentioning Nusky's name when he allegedly didn't even show up to his funeral. Before he signed with Bread Gang, Nusky was known for being one of the most active young dudes in Memphis. He went to jail at 14, came home at 18, and started rapping heavy after Moneybag showed him $700,000 cash and convinced him to leave the streets behind. Nusky was making moves. But in January 2022, he was gunned down in Whitehaven. His death rocked the city and left Moneybag and Big 30 both grieving. But now that history's being dragged into the beef. Big 30's story didn't start with Moneybag Yo though. He came up with Pooh Shiesty, founding Chopper Gang and building their buzz way before either of them hit the industry. Big 30 was catching charges early, kicked out of school and surviving by hustling with his crew. When the rap wave hit, they rode it all the way to the top. Big 30 linked with Moneybag, while Pooh Shiesty got signed by Gucci Mane. Everything seemed up until the streets and the industry started pulling them apart. In 2020, Pooh Shiesty got locked for a robbery and shooting in Florida. Around the same time, Big 30 caught a case crossing state lines with guns, cash, and drugs. Meanwhile, he had an awkward moment with Gucci Mane after posting a pic that Gucci clowned, saying, "We met once." Fans thought Big 30 might have had a bigger bag waiting with Gucci, but he stayed loyal to Bread Gang. Even with Pooh Shiesty locked, Big 30 kept pushing. He dropped B in 2021 featuring major names like Lil Durk, Future, and Offset. He even made the XXL freshman list in 2022 alongside Big Scar. But after Big Scar's death from an overdose and Pooh Shiesty's long prison sentence, Big 30's momentum slowed heavy. Then Moneybag aired out some personal plays, claiming he gave Big 30 his old jewelry after buying new pieces at Johnny Dang for $50,000. Moneybag felt disrespected when Big 30 allegedly spoke down on him after all the help. Big 30 responded again on Facebook, calling Moneybag's gifts cheap-ass Cardi watches and flexing that he's been getting his own money since 18. He also threw shade by clowning Moneybag's fashion choices, saying he only wears brands after Lil Baby rocks them first, and even called Lil Baby his daddy. This whole situation got even crazier when Big 30 claimed Moneybag signed him and Nusky just to have muscle in Memphis. But Big Homie G, another Bread Gang artist from the same part of the city, jumped in and said that's all cap. He said they were moving around 6 deep with choppers. They never needed protection. Fans who watched Moneybag Yo's rise already know he's had messy fallouts before. Moneybag came from the south side of Memphis. But when he signed with Yo Gotti, some dudes back home felt like he switched sides. Yo Gotti and Young Mob, Moneybag's old crew, had deadly beef, with shootings and blood spilled in the city. Even Moneybag's own father called him out for signing with Gotti, but to Moneybag, it was all business. He saw an opportunity to change his life, and he took it. Moneybag said it best himself. If you showed me more loyalty before all that, maybe I would have thought about it, but it was already just me anyway. Now with Big 30 beefing him heavy, it's another chapter in the story. A city like Memphis, where street politics run deep, it's hard to separate rap from real beef. Both Moneybag and Big 30 got deep trenches ties, and everyone's hoping the situation stays in the booth and doesn't spill into the streets. One thing's for sure though, when it comes to Moneybag Yo's favorite op right now, it's Big 30, no question. K-Flock and his favorite op, D-Thang. K-Flock and D-Thang got one of the most personal beefs the game has ever seen. Two of the hottest youngins out the Bronx. Two real street babies who grew up around the same trenches, and they blood cousins. But the way they move now, you'd think they was born enemies. At first, it wasn't even like that. Growing up, K-Flock and D-Thang were close. Everybody in the South Bronx knew their families was tied in heavy. But once the street politics got involved, that family love got thrown out the window fast. K-Flock started repping Sev's side /DOA, while D-Thang was standing strong with the YGs. And once the set drama heated up, there was no way they could keep rocking with each other, no matter the bloodline. By 2021, Bronx drill was booming. K-Flock, D-Thang, B-Love, Dougie B, they all had the city in a chokehold. But at the same time, bodies was dropping all over the Bronx, and a lot of that bloodshed was tied back to these same rappers. K-Flock and D-Thang took the drill disrespect to another level, dropping viral songs dissing each other's dead homies and sending shots that couldn't be walked back. D-Thang made it clear he wasn't sparing nobody, not even his cousin. On the track Opponent, D-Thang rapped, "I know he my cousin and I love him to death, but I don't give a f***." Then he did K-Flock's signature dance move in the video, mocking him while dissing at the same time. It wasn't no sneak dissing either. This was a full-on green light on Flock, and everybody in the Bronx knew it. K-Flock wasn't holding back neither. On Instagram Lives, you could see him pressing the Opps, running down on them, getting disrespectful with it. This wasn't just rap. This was real-life street beef spilling into the booth. The Bronx was already a war zone by then. Shootings in the South Bronx doubled from 2020 to 2021, with a 123% increase in gunshot victims. Murders jumped up 44% too. This wasn't no coincidence. As Bronx drill got hotter, so did the bodies. A lot of the tension between K-Flock and D-Thang came to a head after one of the worst moments in the beef, the murder of 13-year-old J-Rip. J-Rip, real name Jarian Elliott, was a young Sev side affiliate, close with K-Flock and Dougie B. On July 11th, 2021, J-Rip was posted outside a cafe in the Bronx when a car pulled up, a gunman hopped out and opened fire, hitting J-Rip in the chest and the leg. He died on the scene, 13 years old, a kid, wiped out in broad daylight.
16-year-old boy has been arrested and charged with the murder of a Bronx teen. Investigators say the gunman shot and killed 13-year-old Jarian Elliott last month on East 187th Street in the Belmont section. Police say the shooting was gang-related and that Elliott was the intended target.
The murder shook the Bronx to its core, but the Opps wasted no time in making it worse. Right after J-Rip's death, D-Thang and other YG's members dissed him in songs, mocked his death on Instagram Lives, and even filmed themselves knocking over J-Rip's memorial candles. It was one of the most disrespectful moves anybody had ever seen in the Bronx, and it lit a fire that couldn't be put out. K-Flock took that personal. J-Rip wasn't just a homie, he was family to Sev's side. Flock started turning up even harder after that, and it wasn't long before retaliation started flying back. The same day J-Rip's memorial got disrespected, a YG's member named Ra Guayu got gunned down while getting into an Uber. The shooters ran up on him and shot him in the head before he even had a chance to react. Ra Geez had been taunting J-Rip's death online too, and just like that, he became another victim of the Bronx cycle. At the center of all of it was K-Flock and D-Thang. Even though they were family, the streets came first. D-Thang repped the YGs to the fullest, and K-Flock stayed loyal to Sev's side and DOA. The politics between the sets made it impossible for them to ever squash it. The crazy part is, people who knew them before all this said they used to be close when they were younger, playing together, running around the Bronx before the gang politics tore everything apart. Now they can't even be in the same city without it being up. K-Flock ended up getting booked for a murder in December 2021 after allegedly killing a man in Harlem. He's been locked up ever since, fighting for his life in court. Meanwhile, D-Thang and other YG affiliates got swept up in major gun and conspiracy cases too. Looking back, it's crazy how fast the streets and the music turned family into enemies. K-Flock and D-Thang's beef wasn't about clout. It was about blood, betrayal, and the code of the trenches. Even though they share the same DNA, once the bodies dropped and the disses flew, there was no coming back from it. K-Flock's favorite op ain't just any random street dude. It's his own blood cousin, D-Thang. And their war changed the Bronx forever. If you like this video, click on a video on either side to watch a video similar to this one.